the market and then you're hoping to sell in December. Why do people do that? Because there's demand of goods in December and then the price will increase. But it could happen that your goods would fall sick and the value starts of that your particular good will start depreciating. But that doesn't mean you can't still sell it and die, but you would have lost or not gained what you expected to have gained. That's basically how the trading works on spot. So when you say you do not own the asset, that's for futures and derivative, which the consensus of ulamas agree that it's haram. Does that answer your question? About broker. So on crypto, there is no such thing as broker. It's you're mistaken it, you're using it interchangeably. Where you get brokers are in Forex. And my bias in Forex, not just my bias, it's a general thing that Forex is around because you do not own it. What's in broker is exchanges, right? So there are two categories of exchanges. There are centralized exchanges, SEX, which are the likes of Binance, Bybit, KuCoin, and the rest, which involves you to perform a KYC after having an account and all that. Then there is DEX, that's a decentralized exchange, which are the likes of MetaMask, Trust Wallet, Soulflare, Phantom, and the rest. Those ones basically require you to use a seed phrase or some form of authentication. It doesn't require you to see your face to know who is operating it or not.
You mentioned earlier when you were talking about the prices of Bitcoin, for instance, it's going up and it depends on how the market is. That is, if the multitude of people going into the market or buying crypto, it also helps appreciate the coin. So my question here is that there are new coins or platforms coming up and they promise huge returns to customers. But let me say airdrops that we usually do on Telegram and the likes of it. You see an airdrop or a coin which promise to give their participants so amounts of returns, and after some period of time it goes bearish and most investors would lose. Maybe those that even bought to stake on the wallet before the launching of the app will end up losing their initial capital. How does the prices affect or changes, or how does the market influence the cost of all the stocks?
Thank you. So if I got your question correctly, you're asking that some investors, early investors, get to lose out when after the launch of a product and then it goes bearish. So usually before you make investments or commit some of your finances to the pool of investment, they are usually what you call white paper, right? It's how you check the project, its utility, use case, and all that, right? And by default, when for projects that you see that they usually go bearish, are usually projects with no utility, right? So utility in this case is use cases. People use Bitcoin to make payments, Ethereum to make payments. Ethereum also enables people to. It also enables blockchain developers to build on the Ethereum network. So those are use cases, right? Solana are used for, you can stake Solana. Those are use cases. What I'm trying to say here is that for coins with use cases, it means it has an actual use, right? The chances of it going bearish after launch is high. However, it's pump. Why it goes bearish is market behavior. A lot of people that are new to crypto, that maybe probably got their first $100, they immediately want to sell because they feel the money is leaving. And once they sell that money, that liquidity, it leaves the ecosystem. So by default, the price will drop. Why? Because as they are selling, it means there's a lot of the supply of that coin. right? But when people start implementing the use case, so let's say for example now HMO, right? Something like Reliance Healthcare now has an app, right? And the initial value for Reliance, the stock value for Reliance should be, let's say, £1 million in the stock market, right? Investors will not be looking to invest because it's a new HMO and the Nigerian system policies and all that. But then the federal government came up with something like NHIS and the rest, so they started encouraging insurance companies. Those are favorable policies, right? Those are fundamental policies that helps to skyrocket the value of the insurance niche, right? So automatically, the people coming into Reliance Healthcare now, there will be new users coming in because government have passed in policies. There will be new investors coming in. So automatically the price will rise. The price of the stock will rise. It's similar in crypto. But when those investors feel that they've held this money for some time, they are willing to sell to get something. When they sell, the stock price will crash. So it's just what you do physically, traditionally, you're moving into Web3. It's not really a magic. It's something you move from very traditional. The only difference is that it is decentralized. Like you said, there is no bank, right? So, but there are three ways you can actually save your, you can save your cryptocurrency, which is online and offline. So the offline are when you use ledgers, those are cold wallets. You disconnect your crypto from the internet. But in order for you to access it, you have to connect it. So you're disconnecting it to safety it from scam and just because in as much as crypto is secure, hackers, so like Habib said, in cybersecurity there's what you call WH and PH, like white hat and black hat. So the white hat are like ethical, what is ethical? Basically what's moral, you get to test how penetrative a website or an app is, what are the lapses, and then you call in the attention of the owner, the developer, or whoever it is, and you get paid for finding that fault and you try to rectify it. While on the other hand, the black hats are those that find the fault, right, and then they harness it, they utilize it to defraud people. So it's the same thing with crypto. People might see a glitch or a loophole in Binance and then they will attack Binance. When they attack Binance, your funds are there. So it's liable for you to lose. And once the attack is there, the way the human mind works is whoever has money in Binance will start withdrawing. It happened in Nigeria, people had money in Binance and the market capitalization of Binance dropped because why? The volume there has reduced. They moved into KuCoin and the likes, BitGet and BitX. So does that answer your question? Any other question before we move on? Alright, sister.
Please, I want to know more about crypto halving.
Crypto
Halving. I heard something about it, but I don't really know what it entails.
Alright, so the term crypto halving is primarily associated to Bitcoin, right? It's Bitcoin halving. It's when you're trying to bring in new cryptocurrency into the world or into the ecosystem, you do what's called mining on the network or minting, means you're creating new one. So halving is whereby the amount of crypto you can, the amount of Bitcoin particularly, that you can create, the amount of new Bitcoin you can create is half of what you would create prior to the halving. So let's say if it takes you 1 hour to mine 1 Bitcoin, right? And then Bitcoin half, the next 1 hour cannot give you 1 Bitcoin, it will give you 0.5 Bitcoin. So in layman terms, that's what halving does. And why it's peculiar to Bitcoin is that the cryptocurrency use something called proof of work to mining, right? So we'll get to that. Proof of work is what they actually do where there are big machines, so they're usually not there, but you will find them in countries like Iceland, due to their weather is cold, Finland, some parts of Lagos have mini mining machines. Those machines are actually connected to the internet and cryptography, right? Where basically what happens in crypto mining, in Bitcoin operation is those computers get to solve a set of complex analysis, and then a new token, a new Bitcoin is being created. So usually if it takes 2 to 4, 5 hours to solve one solution, and the ability of your computer, so they don't use these regular computers, they use supercomputers and all that. The ability of a computer to mine fast depends on the capacity of the computer, how fast it is, and hardware is involved and all that, right? If it takes 5 hours, after halving, it will take that same 5 hours to mine half of the reward you were to get initially. Does that answer your question? Right. So moving on, someone asked about staking. So basically, staking allows a lot of cryptocurrency to earn rewards by logging up their assets to validate transactions. Like I said earlier, cryptocurrency works in such a way that no one has a central decision for it. So it's my computer to your computer to another computer somewhere, and those computers are called nodes. So is there any developer here? So those computers are called nodes, right? So staking is you basically providing some of your cryptocurrencies. And the popular ones are like Solana, Cardano, ADA, and Ethereum. It's like you providing it to those nodes, those systems.